Hey girls! Okay, so my apartment's a mess, but I've already been up and doing my things. Now, why I want to come here and talk to you guys today is because I want to talk about dating, and I want to specifically talk about allowing yourself to say no to a second date. Now, this is a pattern that is extremely important to confront as young women, and young people in general, as people in general, because this is not an issue that only affects women. It is not an issue that only affects any specific one group. This is a human thing. It is very scary to deny yourself of the possibility of a future with someone if you feel that love is scarce, and if you feel that connection and ability to be compatible, if you feel that there are not many people in this world who will find you attractive, who will understand you, in whatever it is for you, whatever dynamic is happening in your mind, it can be very difficult to say no to a second date if you are struggling with scarcity in any type of way when it comes to love. And many of us are, because many of us have traumas that are layered and deep and complicated, and so they manifest in the way that we show up in the dating world. And right now, we are in a time in our lives, in a level of freedom, especially as women, where we are able to lead in our dating lives, but that also means that there is a lot to confront about our nature, about how we've been nurtured, and about what we want our love life to end up looking like and how we can get there. What kind of sacrifices, changes, self-development must occur in order to get to that place of having a healthy, thriving, strong love life. And for me, I have always known that I'm somebody who, for one, I am unconventional. I would be interested in unconventional dynamics in the sense that I don't necessarily need to lock down with one person if I find multiple love connections, but I'm not necessarily interested in like the modern current standard for open relationships or multiple partner kind of dynamics. I don't resonate with any of those situations. It's my own personal thing, but I am learning to date and to be open and to allow myself to just go on one date and decide I don't want to go on any more dates and then go on another date with someone new, rather than having to draw something out, build a relationship, build up a reason to say no, build up a reason for a breakup. My simple desire that I no longer want to see this person should be enough for me to say nope to a second date. And this is something that I have had to learn. It's something that I'm actively learning right now. I'm actually procrastinating responding to a woman that I'm talking to because I am so scared about saying no to this second date. I've pushed it. I've moved it around. I've found other ways. I have been reasoning with myself. I've been talking with myself. And you know who's the real shade queen? You want to know who's the real shade queen? Her. Yeah, this angel deck. She'll play with your mind. She'll play with your mind. Now, let me tell you something. I know my God. No, I know my God. And I do know Jesus too. Okay? I don't necessarily find Jesus to be God, but I know my God. Now, when I told my dad I was going to get this, my dad gave me a long lecture about if I plan on working in the church, which I never said I planned on working, well, maybe I insinuated. He was like, you can't be messing with this. Now, my dad, he was picking up on something. Because this deck, it'll play with your mind. There's a lot of answers in that deck, and it's good. It's truth. There's knowledge there. But if you don't know what you're thinking, you're going to get run amok. And that's exactly what this situation is making me think of and is reminding me of. 404. This is a 411. It is very, very difficult to be in a consensual, enjoyable relationship when you don't know how you feel. And when you're not trusting your own judgment, you're not trusting what you think. You can very well have a very healthy, dynamic relationship with somebody who in another world you would have a horrible one with because of the way that you feel about yourself. And that is not to say that it is our fault when we fall into unhealthy dynamics. Not at all. Not at all. There's no blame here. But it is revolutionary to acknowledge that we play a role, because it helps us understand as women that we have power and that we have control over our lives, and that we're not just falling willy-nilly into the prey, into the hands of patriarchy. There are steps we take to get there. We are liberated, okay? Our grandmothers, our mothers have pushed us, our ancestresses pushed us forward to a point of liberation where we can now take responsibility for ourselves and for our actions. And so when you are getting that feeling like, I don't want to be here anymore, I don't want to do this anymore, you need to listen to that. That's not your brain just being anxious and that your body being annoying and making you feel a type of way. You feel anxious for a reason. And whether that's because you don't trust yourself or you don't trust this person or you don't trust the environment, whatever the fuck it is, you need to listen to it. And you can find a way to explain it to yourself later. You know what I'm saying? But in terms of getting out of there, you need to get out of there. You can always trust your gut. Because whether it's that the place was about to be shot up, or that person was about to call you a dirty skanko, or this was just going to make you itch, or this is just going to make you feel a little uncomfortable, you don't have to live your life in discomfort. You don't owe the world, the environment, the relationships around you, the people. You don't owe anyone or anything your discomfort. You do not have to be uncomfortable. You do not have to be uncomfortable, okay? Things can challenge you. Things can scare you. Okay, but you don't need to be uncomfortable and you don't need to be in deep withering pain like you're on the cusp of death. Okay, you know what I'm saying? I know many of us have experienced the shakes, the fear, the overtake, the overwhelm, okay, the anxiety. Nah. That's not what our love life needs to look like. That's not what the relationships and the dynamics that are meant to be closest to us, the partners that we're supposed to have, that's not what they need to look like. And so we need to get better and do better about saying no to the things that make us extremely uncomfortable. Okay, and I'm saying this with layers, right? Because there are layers to discomfort. Yes, there are the good discomforts, getting out of your comfort zone and blah, 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 blah. Obviously, I'm not talking about that. Lock in. Tap in. I'm not talking about the healthy discomforts. I'm talking about the dangerous, uncomfortable discomforts, the bad ones, the ones that hurt you, the ones that make you think, fuck, why didn't I listen to that? And that's not to villainize anybody in the room. Okay? Because you could be talking to somebody who's perfectly fine. But should you not watch your boundaries? Should you not listen to yourself? That perfectly fine person can turn into the devil so quick because people are multi-layered and we hold it all within us. We hold it all within us. I can see the way I'm becoming the devil for somebody else. Because why the fuck am I here dragging things out, moving things around if I don't want to be with this person? That's me being devilish. No, it is. It is. And am I trying to be that way? No. I'm out here struggling in my own bag. But this is the responsibility we have in terms of how we act in the world. We share this space with other people. Make it good for other people. If you can't make it good for yourself, at least make it good for somebody else. And it's not good for somebody else when you stay in a situation you don't want to be in. You're not helping them. You're not doing them no favors. You're not healing them. You're not giving them grace. You're not doing nothing. You're wasting their time. And you're wasting your own time. Say no. It's okay to say no. You are allowed to not want to date somebody. And this goes for all areas of your life. You are allowed to not want to work that job. You are allowed. You are allowed. You have permission. Permission granted. Is that what you need? If you need the permission, permission granted. Permission granted. You are a free, liberated person, woman, human being, especially if you got one of them wombs. You're free, you're liberated. You don't owe anyone anything. Okay? I just had to give it to the girls. And I want to tell you this, I'm saying this, and I'm fighting myself. Because I'm struggling to send this text message. I'm fighting for my damn life to send this text message. But I know I have to send it. It's either I send it today or I send it next week. I send it today or I send it 3 months from now. I send it today or I send it 3 years from now. I just finished talking to this guy that I knew I could marry. I knew I could marry him. I also knew we'd get a divorce. How many of y'all say that? How many of y'all admit that? You know you can marry this person fine and dandy. You know you could have a good marriage for maybe even 10, 20 years. And you know you'll get a divorce. Now, if that's worth it for you and if that's okay with you, period. period. But if it's not, if you'd rather keep looking because you do have time, time is not of the essence. Time is right here, right now, and it's going to always be there. You will always have time. Okay, if you want to have a child and things like that, girl, figure it out how to do it on your own dime. You need to figure that out because either way, you'd have to have that figured out. Either way, you'd have to figure out how you can support your child on your own. When was there ever a time when you didn't have to figure out that you need to be able to support your child on your own? When was there ever a time where we didn't have to think about the possibility of becoming a single mom? You know what I'm saying? So lock in. Hunkering down with a man, with a person, with a spouse is not going to guarantee you any type of financial security. We know this. So when it comes to all those things, a house, blah, 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 blah. Girl, all that could be gone in a jiffy. All that could be gone next week. That's how strong, that's how powerful the patriarchy is. So you need to be figuring out how to do all those life goals you think on your own dime. Figure that out. Don't rely on nobody. When it comes to love and relationships, that's where you want to work with somebody and you want to make sure that whoever you're working with, you really rock with. You really rock with them. You really bond with them. You don't got to question, debate, and do all this up and down because life's going to give you enough reasons, enough ways to go up and down and all over the place. Please don't do it. Please don't do it. Don't let it happen to you. Don't be the fool. Please don't do it. You feel what I'm saying? So just don't let it happen. Don't let it happen to you. And if it's happening to you, because it's happening to me, fight back. You know what I'm saying? Stick up for yourself. Stand up for yourself. Say something. You gotta say something. I'm giving up on you. You gotta hurt somebody sometimes. Hurt a few feelings. Because in the long run, it's gonna be helpful. You don't know how this shit's gonna go down. But it's gonna be helpful. And it's gonna hurt and you're gonna doubt yourself and you're gonna be so scared. Like I'm saying all this and actively as I'm speaking to you about having some self-respect and setting your boundaries and if you don't want to go actively right now in my mind, it is undoing itself. That's what's happening in my head. Right now, everything that I'm saying is undoing itself. And I'm finding a way to now question myself and everything's becoming hard again. I go through moments of being really strong and then it becomes hard again. And I don't know what to think. I don't know how I feel. And I don't know. That happens all the time. So when you have those moments of being decisive, you need to jump on them. You need to understand something about yourself. You need to understand something about being human, about being a woman, about being in this fucking world. It can be very hard to make decisions. And your life is defined by the decisions that you make. If you don't make any decisions for yourself, you don't rule your life. You don't run your life. Somebody else runs your life. The government runs your life. That man runs your life. Those children run your life. This world runs your life. That job runs your life. You don't run your fucking life if you have not made a fucking decision for yourself. If you are just letting life happen to you. And a lot of us live with this case, with this condition of you only have so long before your decision-making skills tap out, right? Because you're burnt out. Nah. We got to work that muscle. We got to grow that muscle. And even when it's not there, we got to pull from something else. Pull from the unknown. Pull from your spirit, goddammit. Pull from the Lord if you need to. Pull from something. But something. You need that energy. You need that vigor, that vitality to push you into decision making because you got to make a decision. You got to figure out what the hell you want to do. Because like I said, you don't. And then you end up the asshole. Dragging people along, not knowing where nobody's going. All because you couldn't make a decision. All because you actually just couldn't trust yourself. Right? You really just don't trust what you feel. You don't trust what you think. You don't think you're right. You think you're wrong. And you think love is scarce. You think connection, opportunity, abilities are scarce. You think there's no other way. And so you're asking God, show me there's another way. And God's like, okay, let me break up. Let me have a breakup. Get me a laid off. Get me a fired. Get me a burned down house. Get me a car accident. Get me this. Get me that. You see what I'm saying? No, you see what I'm saying? Because when you ask for the ultimate sign, you understand what you're asking for? Right. We don't need all of that. Tell God I can make my own decisions. Thank you. I can make my own decisions. Thank you. I don't need a big flashing red flag, red light, red sign. Because what's that going to look like for you in reality? What does that end up looking like in reality? I'll tell you what it looks like for me. Trigger warning. Big flashing red light. That looked like months of sexual violence. Months of it. Only for me to realize what was happening to me. Yeah. Yeah, it gets dark. Real quick. Real fast. You know what it looks like? It looks like women being killed left and right by their husbands. It looks like the fact that most people are raped by somebody they know. That's what it looks like. That's what that big blaring red flag, that big sign, that sign you need, that's what it fucking looks like. It looks like a car accident. It looks like somebody dying. It looks like you losing your house. It looks like you losing your job. You want to see how, if you can survive without them? You want to see if you want the biggest, ultimate, most clear sign in the world? You're asking for pain. Why are you asking to be hurt in order for you to leave? Why do you need to be hurt in order for you to leave? Why do you have to be hurt in order for you to leave? Why can't you leave healthy? Why can't you leave strong? You know what I heard the other day? That pimps, when a woman is getting to a point of not being engaged anymore, of feeling disillusioned with the sex work, they will have somebody come and beat her to a pulp. Beat her to a pulp. And right after that, they will bring someone in who is like, I don't know, like, okay, and like it revives her spirit. That's what I'm talking about when I'm talking about why do we need pain? Why? Why? Because we were raised and we grow up in and we are still operating actively within a patriarchy. And the patriarchy is not just some guy mansplaining to you. The patriarchy is a man following you home and killing you. The patriarchy is your boyfriend not letting you leave and killing you and your children. The patriarchy is your boyfriend raping you and never going to jail and you having to see him on the subway. That's the fucking patriarchy. That's what we're talking about right now. That's what we're talking about right now. And I know I started off in one place and I'm going down here, but we have to go down there. We have to go down into the dungeons. We have to see what the fucking ghosts are saying. What's happening? What's wrong with us? Why can't we make these decisions for ourselves? Why can't we defend ourselves? Why don't we feel like we are worth defending, worth protecting? Why do we think we're so fucking strong? What is this kind of strength? What is this strength? I don't want this strength. I don't want the strength of the devil. I don't want the strength of the devil. Nah. No thanks. No fucking thanks. You see what I'm saying? I don't want these life experiences. One of the things that made me so pissed about becoming a survivor was the fact that I now had to have this be a part of my fucking story. Oh, so I'm one of the people that got like, huh? What? I didn't want it to be a part of my story. I said, no, sorry. No thanks. That's what traumatized me more than the assault. The assault. What traumatized me was the fact that now I got this nigga on my damn dashboard. You feel what I'm saying? He's in my history marked as the rapist. Huh? I can't. Because you're not going to play me and pretend like I'm not protected. Like I'm not loved. So loved. You're so loved. You're so protected. You're so wanted in this world. You're so cherished. You were given a gift. You were given a gift and all the protection, all the foresight, all the insight to see. It's the patriarchy. This shit is powerful. This shit is powerful. It doesn't mean you're not loved. It doesn't mean you're not protected. It doesn't mean you're a fucking idiot. Okay, we're working with something that's hard to undo. Our ancestors, the women, have been dealing with this for decades, centuries, years, eons. You understand what I'm saying? They tried to kill all the fucking goddesses. There's this ultimate god. The goddess is like 18 million different fucking women. We don't even fucking know. We don't fucking know our history, our spiritual history. You feel what I'm saying? So I'm just saying all this to be like, guys, set your boundaries and watch them close and protect them. And don't doubt yourself when you say, I don't want this. I don't want to experience this. I don't want to deal with this. You're probably right. You're probably fucking right. Okay? anyways, that's that. I think that that's everything. So I'll see you later.